Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Quote of the day. If you are irritated by every rub, how will your mirror be polished? Today I will present the topic of greenhouse effect under kind supervision of Professor Dr. Saira Afzal. Learning outline of my presentation is about what is greenhouse and its effect, process of greenhouse effect, greenhouse gases, impact and importance of greenhouse effect, and the enhanced greenhouse effect. Learning outcome. By the end of this presentation, participants will be able to describe about the greenhouse effect and its impact on environment and human health. Earth's atmosphere. Earth's atmosphere has 5 major and several secondary layers from lowest to highest. The major layers are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. Now we discuss troposphere. Earth's troposphere extends from Earth's surface to about 12 kilometers in height. This very shallow layer is tasked with holding all the air plants need for photosynthesis and animal need to breathe, and also contain about 90% of all water vapor and aerosols. Most of the Earth's weather happen here, and almost all clouds that are generated by weather are found here. And the second one is stratosphere. It is located between approximately 12 to 50 kilometers above Earth's surface. The stratosphere is perhaps best known as home to Earth's ozone layer, which protect us from the sun's harmful ultraviolet radiation. And then mesosphere. Located between 50 and 80 kilometers above Earth's surface, the mesosphere gets progressively colder with altitude. In fact, the top of this layer is the coldest place found within the Earth system, with an average temperature of about minus 85 degrees Celsius. Fourth one is thermosphere. It is located between about 80 and 70 kilometers above Earth's surface. It is both cloud and water vapor. The International Space Station orbit lies in the thermosphere. Exosphere is located between about 700 and 10,000 kilometers above Earth's surface, the highest layer of Earth's atmosphere, and at its top, it merges with the solar wind. Most Earth satellite orbit lies in the exosphere. This is the diagrammatic representation of all these 5 Earth's layer. Now comes the greenhouse effect, a phenomena in which the atmosphere of a planet traps radiation emitted by its sun caused by gases that allows incoming sunlight to pass through but retain heat radiated back from the planet's surface. There are 2 types of greenhouse effects, natural greenhouse effect and man-made greenhouse effect. Natural one that keeps over Earth climate normal and comfortable, and the man-made, which is an enhancement of natural greenhouse made for burning fossil fuels, petroleum, coal, and natural gases. This is the greenhouse effect in which the sun radiation, about half of the solar radiation, is absorbed by the Earth's surface and warms it. Infrared radiation is emitted from the Earth's surface. But some of the infrared radiation passes through the atmosphere, but most is absorbed and re-emitted in all directions by greenhouse gases, molecules, and cloud. The effect of this is to warm the Earth's surface and the lower atmosphere. Natural greenhouse effect. Natural greenhouse effect is made from the heat energy radiated from the sun. Greenhouse gases are naturally present in the atmosphere. Solar radiation at the frequencies of visible light largely passes through the atmosphere to warm the planetary surface, which then emits his energy at the lower frequencies of infrared thermal radiation The thermal radiation from a planetary surface is absorbed by atmospheric greenhouse gases and is re-radiated in all directions. Some of that released radiation make it into space and the rest of it ends up getting reflected back down to Earth when it hits certain things in the atmosphere such as carbon dioxide, methane gas and water vapor. The heat that does not make it out through Earth's atmosphere keep the planet warmer than it is in outer space because more energy is coming in through the atmosphere than is going out. In brief, the Earth gets energy from the sun in the form of sunlight. The Earth's surface absorbs some of this energy and heats up. The Earth cools down by giving off a different form of energy called infrared radiation. Man-made effect. Activities made by humans result in production of greenhouse gases. While the amount of gases increase in the atmosphere, the stability of greenhouse gases change, causing effects on the whole world. Greenhouse effect caused by burning fossil fuels, coal, oil, natural gas, cutting and burning trees, producing carbon dioxide. Greenhouse gas trap heat, making Earth warmer and creating global warming. One of the man-made cause of the greenhouse effect is erosion. Deforestation increase the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and due to the loss of trees, photosynthesis cannot take place. These all are the man-made reason for the production of greenhouse gases. Other man-made causes of the increase in the greenhouse effect due to the emission of such gases or any all electrical appliances. Even the poor refrigerator in the house emit gases which contribute to the greenhouse effect. These gases are known as chlorofluorocarbons and are used in refrigerators, aerosol cans, and some foaming agent in the packaging industry, fire extinguisher chemicals, and cleaners used in the electronic industry. Other man-made processes that contribute to the greenhouse are burning of gasoline, oil, and coal. Population growth also is an indirect contributor and one of the cause of greenhouse effect. Natural greenhouse effect in which the more heat escape into space, but human enhanced greenhouse effect less heat escape into the space due to the increase of these gases. Greenhouse gases. Any gas that has the property of absorbing infrared radiation emitted from Earth's surface and radiating it back to Earth's surface, thus contributing to the greenhouse effect. Greenhouse gases trap heat in the atmosphere, which make the Earth warm. And these gases consist of water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, troposphere, ozone, and nitrous oxide. And the major contribution is the carbon dioxide, which is almost 82%. Greenhouse gases form our planet, and the major contribution is carbon dioxide, and then methane, nitrous oxide, and fluorinated gases. What is the contribution of water vapor in the greenhouse effect? Water vapor is the most abundant greenhouse gas in the atmosphere. As the temperature of the atmosphere rises, more water is evaporated from Earth. The air is able to hold more water when it's warmer, leading to more water vapor in the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, both man-made and naturally produced, accounts for about 385 ppm of the atmosphere, responsible for about a 25% of natural greenhouse effect on Earth. Carbon sinks help remove CO2 emission from the air. What is carbon sink? Carbon sink is anything that absorbs more carbon from the atmosphere than it releases. For example, plants, the ocean, and soil. And what is the carbon source? Is anything that releases more carbon into the atmosphere than it absorbs. For example, the burning of fossil fuels or volcanic eruption. So if we enhance the carbon sink properties, then we cover the carbon dioxide and protect over Earth. So these are the carbon source which emit carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and these three are the carbon sink sources which absorb the carbon dioxide. Methane. It is produced by the human sources and naturally. Less quantities of methane in the atmosphere than carbon dioxide. Methane molecules are more capable of absorbing thermal energy than CO2 molecules. Fossil fuel production and biomass burning are major human source of methane emissions. Ozone. It exists naturally, creates the layer protecting the earth from the sun's high energy ultraviolet radiation rays, act as a greenhouse gas in the troposphere. And nitrous oxide, it is produced naturally and by human source, lower density in atmosphere than carbon dioxide, molecules 300 times more effective as a greenhouse gas than a CO2 molecule. What is artificial greenhouse? A greenhouse is a house made of glass. It has glass walls and a glass roof. People grow flowers and other plants in them. The effect produced is due to the fact that light rays pass through but heat is trapped by the glass and can't escape. So during the daylight hour, it gets warmer and warmer inside a greenhouse and stays pretty warm at night too. Due to artificial greenhouse, people can grow plants in the off season too. Some simple ways to beat the effect. Use less car or find another way to travel in order to preserve the Earth's natural resources. Reuse household items that way over landfills don't fill so quickly. Decompose your leftover fruits and vegetable parts. It can give you rich soil and also reduce the amount that goes into the landfills. Don't sit around the house wasting electricity when you can be outdoors and playing in the sun. Recycle your paper, beverages container, milk jugs, and tin can so that they can be used to make new material and so that we don't waste natural resources. Grow more trees. If you have the means to plant a tree, start digging. Trees absorb carbon dioxide and give off oxygen. A single tree will absorb approximately 1 ton of carbon dioxide during its lifetime. Buy energy efficient products. Home appliances now come in a range of energy efficient models, and compact fluorescent bulbs are designed to provide more natural looking light while using far less energy than standard light bulbs. Replace your light bulbs with compact fluorescent light bulbs. The greenhouse effect is important because it contributes to the survival of life on Earth. Without these greenhouse, all radiated heat would be lost into space and the surface of the Earth would be cold and barren. This natural phenomena acts like a blanket around the Earth and it is essential for life. The greenhouse effect is a major factor in keeping the Earth warm because it keeps some of the planet heat that would otherwise escape from the atmosphere out to space. The difference between the Earth's actual average temperature 14 degree and the expected effective temperature just within the sun radiation is 19 degree. Give us the strength of greenhouse effect which is 33 degrees centigrade. Greenhouse effect is very important for the survival of the life on Earth. Without the greenhouse effect, the Earth would not be warm enough for humans to live. But if the greenhouse gases effects become stronger, it could make the Earth warmer than usual. Even a little extra warming can cause problems for human, plants, and animals. Now it's time for the recent updates. This is an article, Global Climate Change and the Greenhouse Effect. This paper analyzed the dynamics of greenhouse gases emission. Climate change has many consequences on human health throughout the world. The growth of greenhouse gases emission is viewed as a cause of infectious and non-infectious diseases, negative effect on nutrition, water security, and other social disruption. The global average temperature gradually increased and the atmospheric CO2 concentration has exceeded 400 due to the intensification of greenhouse effect. The method of energy balance was featured to stimulate the trends in greenhouse gas emission forecast in different sectors until 2030. Through sensitivity analysis, we found that the reduction of anthropogenic CO2 emissions from people, car, and household would de-accelerate the consequences of the above trends. Emissions are mostly associated with industries. The public health implication of the Paris Agreement, a modeling study. Modeling the energy, food and agriculture and transport sector and mortality related to risk factor for air pollution, diet and physical activity. We analyze the health co-benefits of existing nationally determined contributors and related policies for 2040 in 9 countries around the world. We compared these co-benefits with two alternative scenarios. One consists with the goal of Paris Agreement and Sustainable Development Goal, and one in line with the Sustainable Pathway scenario, but also placing health as a central focus of the policies. A greater consideration of health in the national determinant contributor and climate change mitigation policy has the potential to yield considerable health benefit as well as achieve the well-known 2 degrees centigrade commitment across a range of regional and economic contexts. Now it's time for the MCQs. What is called for the phenomena when the radiation absorbed by the atmosphere is re-radiated towards the surface of the Earth? Smoke, Newton effect, Darwin effect, greenhouse effect, or solar eclipse?
D.
Yes, D is the right answer, greenhouse effect. What is the most abundantly found greenhouse gas and main feedback gas of the greenhouse effect? Carbon dioxide, water vapor, methane, nitrous oxide, or methane?
A.
A.
B, water vapor. For greenhouse effect, greenhouse gases interact with which one of the following option? Wind's energy, sun's energy, atmosphere pressure, pollutants in the atmosphere, or light?
D.
B, sun's energy. Now, by the use of modern technology of artificial greenhouse, we are able to grow off-season vegetable. The basic mechanism of artificial greenhouse is by increasing light provision to plants, increasing heat provisions to plant, preventing excessive wind to plant, preventive insects to plant, or preventing pollution to plants.
B.
A.
B is the right answer, increasing heat provisions to plant. The gradual rise in atmospheric temperature due to increase in greenhouse gases is called greenhouse effect, global warming, ozone depletion, thermal hyperalgesia, deforestation.
B.
B.
B is
B.
global warming. The largest single source of global greenhouse gas emission is accounted by the economic sector, transportation industry, electricity and heat generation, agriculture and deforestation, domestic electrical appliances.
A.
C, electricity and C is the right answer, electricity and heat generation. The major human source of methane emission are fossil fuel production and livestock farming, fossil fuel production and biomass burning, fossil fuel production and agriculture, fossil fuel production and biofuels, and fossil fuel production and natural gas burning.
A.
B.
A is the right answer, fossil fuel production and livestock farming. Why heat trapping by garden greenhouse is called greenhouse effect? Garden greenhouse is permeable to both heat and sunlight. Garden greenhouse is impermeable to sunlight. Garden greenhouse is permeable to sunlight and impermeable to heat. Garden greenhouse is impermeable to both sunlight and heat. Garden greenhouse is impermeable to ultraviolet radiation.
C.
C is the right answer. Garden greenhouse is permeable to sunlight and impermeable to heat. Why the temperature inside the car is much warmer than the outside temperature when the car that has been left parked in the sun for a couple of hours? Due to air pollution, due to smoke, due to sudden climate change, due to greenhouse effect, due to heat of engine after switching off.
D.
D is the right answer, due to greenhouse. Taking the example of a car parked in the sun for a few hours, which of the following action take place? Sunlight once entered the car through windows is partially converted into heat. Sunlight once entered the car through windows is partially converted into electricity. Sunlight once entered in the car through windows is completely absorbed by the car. Sunlight once entered the car through windows is partially converted into wind energy. Sunlight once entered the car through windows is completely converted into light.
C.
A is the right answer. Sunlight once entered the car through window is partially converted into heat. This is the key of my MCQs. YouTube link of our presentation. Please like and subscribe this channel. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Naila. Brilliant presentation, very nicely done. And I'm so glad that everyone is here who are keen learners. And we have a lot of good learning and sharing experience. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And see you in the department today. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, ma'am. Allah Hafiz.